Greetings, listeners. Welcome to Consulting Between Friends. I am your host, Michael Holmes Jr. In history, we learn what great individuals came before us. The history of others gives us knowledge about what to expect from life. We have to create our own path in life to achieve anything. The past is important to look back on, but someone is creating history every day. The person is just living their life and later realize that sometimes they will change the future with their thoughts. There are types of movies that tells a story about a person that are called biopics. Biopics are a person, and some of these stories are worth looking into. You will be amazed by what you learn about someone's life. You might even relate to them. There are biopics and documentaries of Black people and culture that get overlooked, which are important to history. These stories depict what Black people have overcome and what situations still need our attention for a better future. In this episode, I will discuss Black biopics and documentaries of individuals you may know of. The topic is historical Black movies and accomplishments, part 2. We will return after a message from our sponsor. Everyone is always planning things, and advertising is needed to make it happen. So, if it's personal or business, let Pinpoint Designs and Images solve that problem. With Pinpoint Designs and Images LLC, you will receive quality work and professional service at a great price. The service that is offered: flyers, business cards, programs, invitations, photo books, ad booklets, and much more. Michael Holmes Jr., owner/principal designer of Pinpoint Designs and Images LLC, contact me by email or social media. Email address is pinpointdesignsandImages@gmail.com, and Instagram Pinpoint Designs, and Facebook Pinpoint Designs and Images. We are back. There are many ways to learn about history. History can be learned from families, members' conversations, books, magazines, movies, and education from schools. To continue learning anything about history, the person has to take the initiative. This goes for anything in life. The person has to have desire to educate themselves. Documentaries on people and events can show you a different way of seeing things. You can watch or listen to a documentary of your choice. Biopics and documentaries can express stories in ways that a person can relate to. In other words, you can visualize the series of events in their lives. After a short break, we will return. We are back. Now, a list of Black histories, movies, list 2. Judas and the Black Messiah. Release 2021. Description: the story of Fred Hammond, chairman of the Illinois Black Panther Party. Hidden Figures. Release 2016. The story of Catherine, Doretha, and Mary, three African American women working as mathematics at NASA. I Am Not Your Negro. Release 2016. Writer James Baldwin tells the story of race in modern America with the unfinished novel. Remember This House. The movie is based on his book. Just Mercy. Release 2019. The story of the civil rights defender attorney Brian Stevens works to free the wrongly condemned death row prisoner. This movie is based on a book about his work. MLK slash FBI. Release 2020. Based on the newly declassified files, Sam's Resonant film explores the U.S. government surveillance and harassment of Martin Luther King Jr. John Lewis. Good Trouble. Release 2020. The film explores George Representative, 60 plus years of social activists, legislative action on civil rights, voting rights, gun control, healthcare reform, and immigration. Remastered: The Two Killings of Sam Cooke. Release 2019. An investigation into the circumstances and controversial surrounding Sam Cooke's murder. Rosewood. Release 1997. The story of the 1923 horrific race lynching mob attack on the African American community. This was the Rosewood Massacre. This took place in Rosewood, Florida. Tulsa Burning. The 1921 Race Massacre. Release 2021. The story of the Black Wall Street and how it was destroyed. This took place in 1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Dreamland: The Burning of Black Wall Street. Release 2021. A documentary celebrating the Black cultural renaissance that existed in the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and investigates the 100-year-old race massacre. The 1619 Project. Release 2023. Connects The centrality of slavery in history with the unflinching account of brutal racism which endures in so many aspects of American life today. Chevalier, release 2022, based on the factual story of the composer Joseph Chevalier de St. Georges. The Best of Enemies, release 2019. The civil rights activist Ann Waters faced off against C.P. Ellis, exalted Cyclops of the Ku Klux Klan in 1971, Durham, North Carolina, over the issues of school integration. The Birth of a Nation, release 2016. Nat Turner is a literary slave and preacher in the antebellum South, orchestrated an uprising. Rustin, release 2023. Activist Brian Rustin faced racism and homophobic as he helps change the course of the civil rights history by orchestrating the 1963 March on Washington. 13th, release 2016. An in depth look at the prison system in the United States and how it revelates the nation's history of racism equality. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, release 2020. Tensions rise when the trailblazing blues singer Ma Rainey and her band gather at the recording studio in Chicago, 1927. The Rebellious Life of Miss Rosa Parks, release 2022. The unexpected story of Parks and her life beyond the historical bus boycott, revealing the intent behind her activism, her radical political, and her courage. 42, release 2013. In 1947, Jackie Robinson became the first African American to play in a Major League Baseball. Jackie Robinson signed by the Brooklyn Dodgers. Race, release 2016. The story of Jesse Owens becoming the greatest track and field athlete. Jesse Owens went to the 1936 Olympics. Harriet, release 2019. The story of Harriet Tubman's life. Harriet Tubman's escape from slavery and transformation into one of America's greatest heroes. Ray, release 2004. The story of the life and career of the legendary rhythm and blues musician Ray Charles. Get On Up, release 2014. The story of the life James Brown and the influential musician in history. Respect, release 2021. The story of the life of Aretha Franklin. The singer Aretha Franklin is the queen of soul. Men of Honor, release 2000. The story of Carl Brashear first African American U.S. Navy diver, and the man who trained him. The Great Debaters, release 2007, a drama based on the true story of Melvin P. Tolson, a professor at Wiley College, Texas. In 1935, he inspired students to form the school's first debate team, which went to challenge Harvard in the national championships. Devotion, release 2022. A pair of U.S. Navy fighter pilots risked their lives during the Korean War and became some of the Navy's most celebrated wingmen. The true story Navy's first black aviator, Jesse Brown. Pride, release 2007. The determination of Jim Ellis start a swim team for troubled teens at the Philadelphia Department of Recreation. The true story of Jim Ellis, the founder of Philadelphia Department of Recreation swim team. That was my list of Black History movies. The Black History movie list 2 will be available in the podcast notes. After a short break, we will return. We are back. In closing, I hope the information was valuable to my listeners. I wanted to highlight Black history moments I believe people should know about. These movies provides us with knowledge and another perspective. I have learned about history from movies and documentaries. Movies has given me a wealth of knowledge of history. One last thing. Remember to support local businesses. And your past life creates steps to your future. Thank you for listening to Consulting Between Friends. This podcast is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts, as well other platforms that are available. So like and subscribe. Need to contact us and leave us a comment? You can find us on Instagram at consulting the letter B friends. Once again, consulting B friends. An email address is consulting the letter B friends at gmail.com. Once again, consulting B friends at gmail.com. Consulting Between Friends now has a merch online store called Podcast Merch Headquarters. This is where you can buy merch to show your support for the podcast. Some items to choose from are t-shirts, tumblers, and hoodies, as well many other things I know you will appreciate. So take the time to review the items in the store. The link will be available in the podcast notes under Podcast Merch Headquarters. Thanks again for the support. If you have an extra minute, it would be greatly appreciated if you could answer a few questions regarding the quality of the podcast. The link will be in the description. Consulting between friends. Thanks to everyone for making this possible. The host, Michael Holmes Jr., the producer and content creator, Michael Holmes Jr., the artwork cover, Michael Holmes Jr., original music, a DJ named Slash, content distributor, my producer, Podcasts.